The only reason you don't
The only reason that anyone on the planet doesn't unconditionally love every other person is because of fear. So if you judge someone, you don't love them, you're afraid that they're going to do something that's going to hurt you. You've had trauma in your past that causes you to believe that if you love this person, there's not going to be enough for you left over. Or if you love this person, they're just going to come back and hurt you the way that happened to you in the past. Or if you love this person, if you allow yourself to get close to this person, you're going to get hurt in some way. Like our default state is to unconditionally love everyone. That's our default state. And the only reason anyone doesn't do that is fear. The only reason anyone does anything bad to anyone else, hurts them, yells at them, screams at them, insults them, anything, is because they are afraid. They're doing something that is trying to protect themselves. And if someone's doing something very negative to you, it's because something you did triggered them and made them think of something in their past where they were in danger or felt in danger or were very afraid. And that's why they do things that cause them not to care about other people. And it's so subtle sometimes. Like it's easy to think about extremes, but like even just like, nah, I'm not going to share. Or like, we should have our own country. Like, we should segment our country off and keep our resources to ourselves. It's all because of fear. We're afraid that other people are going to take our resources. Other people are going to take advantage of us. We have to protect.
I'm scared.
The only reason we don't love everyone is fear. That's it. That is the one reason not to love someone else.
How do you choose love instead of fear if no one around you is different? If other people are in fear.
If other people are in fear too. I think the first thing is going inside. You have to heal your own fear first. You have to identify your fear, what you're afraid of, why you're afraid. How old were you when that fear first came into your mind? Like, usually you're a kid when you become afraid of something or you are worried about something. You have to stand up for yourself. No one hears you. Something bad happened to you. You were hit as a kid. You were bullied as a kid. All these things, like, that's usually when
you weren't validated.
You weren't validated, and so you had to do something to stand up for yourself. Otherwise, that wasn't going to happen. You felt like no one cared about you. You felt you rejected. That's usually when we have fears, that we internalize those fears as part of our identity, and then we act out of those fears in our daily life, and that's a part of our personality. But really, it's a part of ourselves that's still afraid from that time that we have to go back and heal. Otherwise, we're going to continue being afraid. So that's the first step. You have to heal yourself. Because if you go around and you're still afraid of everything and everything's triggering you, you're still going to act negatively towards other people, trying to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. Once you heal those things in yourself, you can then see those things in other people. And then you sympathize with them. You go, oh my gosh, you're just afraid that something bad's going to happen to you. Like, I don't know exactly what it is that's triggering you, what happened in your past, but there's obviously something there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be acting in such an extreme way because you are afraid. That's the only reason we do negative things, is because we're afraid. No one inherently, like by default, no one inherently is selfish. No one inherently is like mean to other people. No one would do anything negative to anyone if they weren't afraid. Because it's like, do unto others as you want done to yourself. So why would you be negative to someone else if you know that they're just going to be negative back to you? Because you're afraid, you're scared. You think, if I don't do this, if I don't yell at this person and stand up for myself, they're not going to hear me. If I don't
So what do you do? So when you heal that part of yourself, And let's say you're in that situation that if someone's not listening to you and you're speaking and you want to be heard, but you've healed that part of yourself, how will you handle that differently than just being louder and demanding that you're heard?
If you heal that part of yourself, then that part of you will still speak. It will still say, they're not listening to me, they're not hearing me. But you then, that's normally, we internalize that as our thoughts. We say, oh, you're not listening to me, you're not hearing me, I have to scream at you. We think that that's our own thoughts, but it's actually the part of us that had to stand up for itself at that point in the past. It's not actually us. And it is speaking for us with our thoughts. So the way you handle it differently is, before you identify with that part of yourself, you think that you're a person that has to stand up for yourself. That's part of your identity, and that's who you are. That's the old way. The new way is, now that you've healed that part, it will say, they're not standing up for me, they're not listening to me. And you go, I hear you. And you don't have to protect me anymore. I understand that that happened to you in the past, and that you had to stand up for yourself, because otherwise you might have been put in a really dangerous situation, or a situation you didn't want to be in. So you had to be loud and obnoxious and scream and maybe hit someone just to get them to listen to you, because you were little and they were big and you had to punch them just to get them to listen to you. But now I hear you. I know you're there, and I care about you, and I'm big now, and I can stand up for myself now. I can make myself heard in a way that's not hurtful to someone else. That's how you handle it differently.
So then being like, it's okay if they don't hear me. I hear me, and I will find a way to get my needs met.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be in this very situation.
Doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah.
I can figure it out.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.